welcome to the Emron Shibishi and Hayden NBA preseason mock NBA awards, where we're gonna give y'all our Rookie of the Year, our Defensive Player of the Year, and our MVP. First of all, Rookie of the Year, Hayden, spit it out. Who you got Rookie of
All
the Year?
right. Did you do top three candidates, or are we just doing one player that we think is going to win it?
I did one.
All right. Well, I'll just say the three top candidates I think could possibly go for it, but obviously, I think Paulo Banchero is going to win it. It's pretty easy to see why. He's on an Orlando Magic team that's literally going to be built around him only. So he's going to thrive. The other two players I could see winning it are going to be Ben Mathurin. I think the Indiana Pacers are going to build it around Ben. And I think he's a surprise pick because I know he got taken seventh, but I think he should have been taken a lot higher. And I could see him making a run on the Pacers with good stats for him to win Rookie of the Year. And then Jeremy Sohan. The Spurs have no one. Yes, he's a big man, but I could easily see him winning it on the Spurs because the Spurs have no one again. So he could have the stats where they're like, Jeremy Sohan's doing good. So that's my top three. But I got Carroll winning it.
I chose Jabari Smith because I think that's the best player in my opinion in that draft. The best player who's going to be ready. I would have had Chet Holmgren, but he's out for the season. So I'm going with Jabari Smith, 6'11", elite defender, knockdown three-point shooter, built for this league. You know, you don't see 6'11" people that have a strap the way he does. I think he's kind of built for today's NBA. I think he's going to work nicely. He matches up well with the team with Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green. It's a young core. They all can be ascending. The only problem with him compared to some of the people you had is that he actually has decent players on his team. Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, players who are actually like decent. I think Bala Banchero is by far the best player on his team. I think that the guy on the Spurs, I don't even know if he's the best player on his team, but he's probably the only player. He's probably the only player on his team. The Spurs but I think like pound for pound, I think Jabari Smith's the best player. So yeah. I think the Magic made a mistake taken, but I would have taken Holmgren over Banchero.
I think I would have too, but then after watching him get injured, we don't know.
Yeah, that's the problem though. Play. Yeah, 7 foot. That's the problem with 7'1" guys. You know, too much pressure on the knees. It's all health with them.
And as skinny as he is, but I will say with your pick, Jabari Smith, I do think it's a good pick. I thought about picking him too, but I think that they have too many young stars on their team that I don't think he can make a push for Rookie of the Year just because their players are already almost rookies basically anyway. They're all so young. So I don't know. He could, but I just don't see it happening.
How about Defensive Player of the Year?
I did a top three for all of these, by the way, but I'll just go through who I think is gonna win it. I think it's gonna be Kawhi. It's the Claw.
Hell no.
It's Kawhi Leonard. I think if the Clippers are a top 3 seed this year, they're gonna look at the team and they're gonna go, why are they a top 3 seed? You know why they're gonna be a top 3 seed? Because Kawhi Leonard defensively and offensively. And I think if they're not going to include him in an MVP conversation, they're going to include him in the depoy, and I think he'll get a depoy. And next on the list, I had Draymond. I think the Warriors are going to be built around Draymond's defense. He makes a run every year to be a top 3, top 4 candidate.
Wait, Kawhi is the guy that you have winning, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then in my third spot, I think either one of these Bucks players could win it, depending on who you look at more. Drew or Giannis. Either one of them could win it. I think Drew is so underrated as a defensive player. I think he's the best defensive point guard there is in the entire NBA association.
I disagree.
Over Marcus Smart. Yes, I think he's that good defensively.
I disagree. Oh, it depends on what you call point guard. But in my opinion, who I have winning Defensive Player of the Year is the best point guard defender in the league. And I think he is the best. He's the top 3 defender in the league. But I'll say it after you finish.
Wait, who? Kawhi?
No, I'll say it.
Oh, okay, I see. But yeah, I think Drew or Giannis I have up there too. But I think Giannis is gonna get voter fatigue. I don't think he'll win any awards this year. And I think Drew can make a run out of it if he stays healthy all season and puts up the same defensive stats if no one else is catching anyone's eye. And then obviously Evan Mobley could make a run at it too, but I don't have any of them winning. I think Kawhi. I think this is his comeback year.
I got bet. I see. I think it's a little unrealistic to have Kawhi winning Defensive Player of the Year off of a torn ACL. Just saying. Number one. Number two, I got Ben Simmons.
Yeah, but look at your guy. Your guy's been out of the league for a year.
Simmons. Okay, yes, but he didn't come off a torn ACL. I
He came
think
up with not wanting to improve himself.
okay. Ben Simmons is the best defender in the league when healthy. He can guard 1 through 5. He don't even say he can. I said it best point guard, best defender who's also a point guard, but he's the best defender in general. The only player I think is a better defender than him is Giannis, who does everything he does better. And at 7 feet, but he's 6'11". But the reason why I have Ben Simmons winning Defensive Player of the Year, not Giannis, is because Giannis has already won it a couple times. And the thing is, with these awards, with the Defensive Player of the Years and with the
Won it
MVP,
once.
with the MVPs, they want to see something new. There's a thing as voting fatigue, and Ben Simmons hasn't won a DPOY yet, which, in my opinion, is a little, I don't know how. But he's always been such a good defender. He can guard a 1 through 5. You saw what he did in the playoffs against the Hawks. He played well against Trae Young. It's just when he was on the other side, he did basically the opposite of the court. When he was on the other side of the court, he basically did the opposite he was doing defensively. He's a 6'11", and he's rattling 5'1" Trae Young. He's guarding, and then on the rim, he's a good rim protector too for a guy who's not really,
He's tall.
7 foot. He's tall and he puts his hand, and he's a very, very, he's a lead defender. And I think that the fact that there's not really a voting fatigue issue with him, I think he's gonna win DPOY. And he's gonna be, and I also think they're gonna see how he improves the Nets as a team defensively, and I think that's gonna get him votes too.
Good.
Okay.
I don't there's no way he'll win it.
All right. And now MVP. Who wants to go first?
You can go ahead, go first.
I got LeBron James. I got LeBron, bro. It's our year. It's the narrative. The narrative is building for LeBron, coming off of a year that he missed the playoffs, coming off of a year where people are finally. I saw a blasphemous list that had him like 7th in the NBA. 7th in the NBA. Someone was going through players and said, "Oh, LeBron James is 7th best in the league." I think all this nonsense is finally gonna come to an end, and LeBron James is gonna beat Kareem Abdul-Jabbar about 40 games in for the most points of all time or whatever. He's gonna have a 28, 29-point game season. He's not going to score as much as he was last year, but the team is going to be better. If you had last year's LeBron production and that team was at least 4th or 5th seed, he was winning MVP. But now I think the Lakers are just going to be that little bit better where they're going to have at least be able to be 4, 5, 6 seed. I think that's enough. I think LeBron James will be the same player he was last year, and that's going to be enough. I don't need to describe why LeBron James is the greatest. I just need to say the word LeBron King James, and that's it. The greatest of all time, the greatest to do it. He's gonna win MVP this year. And to be honest, if we had to be honest, he deserved MVP for the last 15 years. But the NBA can't do that. So
I agree with you a little bit. Okay.
Oh,
my pick for MVP though, if I had to go to Vegas right now and put my money on someone, it's the same person every single year that is favored to be a top 3 candidate, but kind of falls off midway through the season either because of injury or players.
I think that's going to happen again this year.
Or players are just playing unexpectedly well. Luka Doncic is built for an MVP season one of these years. His team is solely built around him. You look at these other players that could be in the runnings. You look at LeBron. He has AD on his team, who some could argue is actually the better player on the team at times.
No.
Yes, you can argue that. And then I do think I have LeBron in my top 3 rankings for MVP. I do think the season is going to be, is LeBron.
You know what? I don't respect Luka's MVP shots this year. When you look at Luka, he's always gotten off to slow starts. It's always been, one time it was the Olympics. One time he came in out of shape. The same thing again this year. He's coming off a Euro basketball tournament that just ended like a week ago. I think that's going to make his slow start. I think the slow starts are going to continue this year. And I also think I've always noticed the issue Luka has is, why does he get gassed at the end of the season? Why does he get gassed in the 4th quarter in the playoffs? I really think he has a long-term endurance problem. Yes, this year, not this past season. He didn't this year. No, he didn't. But
he actually
improved this year, but I mean, okay, keep going.
My bad. He actually does way better in the second half of the season every single year. It's weird. He does get off to a slow start. people are like, why is he not performing? He averages probably like 25 in the first half of seasons.
This
And
year,
that's second half.
this year, his start to the season was awful last
It
year.
was. Post All-Star break, though. Post All-Star break, he always gets his name in the MVP conversation. You know why? Because he comes off the All-Star break and
It's
starts
always too
averaging
late.
30 a game. He's crazy. He's Luka Magic. So I cannot have him in my top three. And then another person I have that I still think deserved last year's MVP is Joel Embiid. Yes, I do think he'll be in the runnings this
I
year.
deserve he won the MVP last year, but I don't think that's like some narrative that he was saying. I don't think there's any sort of narrative.
I don't think there's any
People like
narrative
Jokic
for.
more.
I don't think there's any narrative going for him. But there was no narrative going for Jokic in his second year winning it. There was no narrative for Giannis winning it his second year either. But guess what? They both won back-to-back years. The last 4 MVPs have gone to Giannis and Jokic. Do I think it will be another big man? Yes, I think it might be Embiid this year. But I went with Luka just because I think the league is actually tired of seeing big man win this MVP award. I think they're going to give it to the star guard, Luka Doncic. And that's my MVP take.
Yeah, I'm gonna also shout out Devin Booker for MVP because not saying Devin Booker is an MVP caliber player. I think he's very, very overrated. But last year, he started getting shouts near the end of the season whenever they were winning games without Chris Paul and they were like had 60 wins and they were saying like, oh wait, how come Devin Booker is not going to get any mention? I think Devin Booker is going to have a similar season to last year, but I think more people are going to start mentioning his name because like when you do this 2 years in a row, I think that's when people are going to start. But no, I think Devin Booker is not that good of a player either. Not that good, but like I don't think he's like caliber. I don't think he's a Luka caliber player. Or
I don't think he'll be able to get it either, just because I simply think the reason they win more than they lose is not because of Booker, but more because of Chris Paul and his game management. I think Chris Paul's the better player in that backcourt, to be honest. I would take Chris Paul on my team before I took Devin Booker.
I agree. This is our mock NBA awards. Just to review, I had LeBron James winning MVP, Ben Simmons winning Defensive Player of the Year, and Jabari Smith winning Rookie of the Year. He had Luka MVP. His Defensive Player of the Year was Draymond.
Kawhi.
No, Kawhi, but Draymond was one of the. And then his Rookie of the Year was who's your Rookie of the Year again? Oh, Banchero. All right, guys. Thank y'all for watching. Like and subscribe, and see y'all later for some more content. Hayden should be on in a couple weeks too.